The far right are losing.
You thought that Humza Yousaf had finally gone away, but oh no, he is back to tell us that the far right are losing, despite the fact that most polls in Western countries suggest otherwise.
Don't get me wrong, they're far from out. But this week has proven that we can defeat the far right and hit them where it hurts. Elon Musk has hinted he will leave as a Trump advisor next month. Of course, he says it was all part of his grand plan and has nothing to do with the 36% drop in Tesla shares in the last quarter. The fact that Tesla
What's with
has
that
had
wink? You're not
some
smooth.
$460 billion erased
Weird.
from its market value in the last quarter shows that if we can mobilise, we will hit the far right and those who finance them hard in their pockets. Wisconsin has also dealt Musk another defeat, despite personally attempting to influence the vote with a $20 million war chest. Elon Musk's candidate lost. Who would have thought that if you wield the chainsaw of bureaucracy like a madman and fire people from their jobs without due process, the people might just turn against you?
Just completely cherry picking a couple of bits of bad news. Now, Elon Musk, he is leaving as a special government employee that has a cap of 130 days. Some people think that he has essentially been fired because he would have been kept on for something else if he had been doing a good job. It might be the case that Trump doesn't want him around anymore because he's a bit too big for his boots and is a pain in the butt in meetings, which we have been hearing. But does that mean that the far right is losing and left-wing opinions are on the rise? No, it doesn't. Yes, we've had idiots setting Teslas on fire, and given the fact that a load of lefty liberals, pro-environment lefty liberals, were the ones that bought them in the first place, yeah, they're a bit annoyed about the Elon Musk telling us what his opinions are politically and realizing that he is on the right. So yes, the Tesla share price is going down and that is a bit of a travesty, but does that mean that the far right are losing and that everyone's turning to the left now and that Kamala Harris will be in the White House before we know it? Of course it doesn't. And yes, there was that loss in the Supreme Court for the Wisconsin candidate, but okay, it doesn't mean that the Trump administration is deeply unpopular and the far right are losing. It's just, one loss, one bit of bad news. You win some, you lose some. But wait to hear what he says to say about Le Pen.
And it's not just Elon Musk. Let's look at the bigger picture. This week, we also learned the leader of France's far right, Marine Le Pen, won't be eligible to stand in the next French presidential elections, having been found guilty of embezzling EU funds. The far right's rhetoric might be loud, but our resistance is louder. Because when we show up, speak out, and if we mobilise and stand together, we will win.
Does mobilising mean setting Teslas on fire and committing acts of vandalism? Are you proud of that? Are you happy with what they've done? Because they're certainly not winning when it comes to the polls by making good argument, the left, right? Because they're absolutely dwindling in the polls.
Musk is quitting, Le Pen is out. The far right aren't nearly as untouchable as they'd like you to think. Keep pushing back.
Just completely cherry picking the few bits of bad news for the right, completely ignoring the elephant in the room, that is the Reform Party doing fantastically in the polls in the UK, being on the rise. Okay, no mention of that whatsoever. He is living in complete and utter delusion. Patrick Christie shared this and tweeted, "This is straight out of the left-wing mafia playbook. Disagree with someone? Bankrupt them. Financially ruin them. Make it unsafe for them to walk the streets. Makes their lives intolerable. That will silence them into submission." Let's also have a look at what Donald Trump had to say about what is happening to Marine Le Pen. The witch hunt against Marine Le Pen is another example of European leftists using lawfare to silence free speech and censor their political opponent. This time going so far as to put that opponent in prison. It is the same playbook they used against me by a group of lunatics and losers like Norm Asen, Andrew Weissman, and Lisa Monaco. They spent the last 9 years thinking of nothing else and they failed because the people of the United States realized that they were only corrupt lawyers and politicians. I don't know Marine Le Pen, but do appreciate how hard she worked for so many years. She suffered losses but kept on going, and now just before what would be a big victory, they get her on a minor charge that she probably knew nothing about. Sounds like bookkeeping error to me. It is also bad for France and the great French people, no matter what side they are on. Free Marine Le Pen. Yeah, I mean, the leftists, their strategy to take down the right is not to try and change people's opinion, but to try and, use technicalities to stop people from being able to run, using lawfare to try and stop them from being able to run, right? Marine Le Pen, maybe she was guilty of embezzlement, right? But is it the case that all of the left-wing politicians, that they haven't been up to this dodgy stuff as well, right? Why is it the case that only Marine Le Pen is investigated? You've got to ask the question. And on the Humza Yousaf's point of, oh yes, the far right are losing, okay, well, polling-wise, no, they are not. As I've said, public opinion is not changing. You shouldn't be celebrating that the way you are winning is by the people who are successful and who are winning in the polls are being banned from running in a democracy. Okay, that's not the right way to win an election. But these lefties are, yeah, they just have no morality whatsoever. And speaking of public opinion, as I said at the start of this video, most of the polls in Western countries at the moment suggest that the right is doing pretty all right compared to the left. In fact, we've just had this poll come out saying that in Germany, the AfD is now neck and neck with the Christian Union Party. Okay, so nearly in the lead. Maybe next poll that we have out, they will be leading. And to suggest the far right is losing after seeing a poll like that, I'm sorry. Do I even need to show you the polls showing how well Reform UK is doing in Britain? It's beyond belief, right? And also, he is calling us all far right, but let's not forget, Humza Yousaf is the one here who is a racist. Do you remember that spat with Elon Musk? No wonder he has made the majority of his video about attacking Elon Musk, because he despises Elon Musk after Elon Musk called him out on Twitter to be a racist. He even threatened to sue Elon Musk. He was so wound up about Elon Musk saying that. Yes, let's go back to that good old video that shows Humza Yousaf to be the blatant racist that he is.
White. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. The Solicitor General, white. The Chief Constable, white. Every Deputy Chief Constable, white. Every Assistant Chief Constable, white. The Head of the Law Society, white. The Head of the Faculty of Advocates, white. Every Prison Governor, white. And not just Justice. The Chief Medical Officer, white. The Chief Nursing Officer, white. The Chief Veterinary Officer, white. The Chief Social Work Advisor, white. Almost every trade union in this country headed by people who are white. In the Scottish Government, every Director General is white. Every chair of every public body is white. That is not good enough.
White, white, white. That's what Humza Yousaf has to say. That video will always be funny no matter how old it gets. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Subscribe to Reason for more videos like this one.